Walt Disney Parks and Resorts have just raised their prices despite saying they wouldn't do that. Universal Studios has followed suit and raised theirs to match it, or have they? Let's talk about that here on That Park Place. Howdy, everyone. I am Jonas J. Campbell, and with me, as always, is Vash Sky. Vash, we need your theme park expertise for this video today. Are you ready?
I am happy to provide it, good sir.
All right.
All set.
I am hearing that Universal Studios has raised their prices. Can you tell me more about that, sir?
I think I can, and we can go to local NBC affiliate WFLA, which is interesting. Universal
right.
Orlando increases some ticket prices.
Yes.
Universal Orlando has increased the prices of some tickets. The price increase is in effect for both Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. The new rates are up by about $10 to $20, depending on the day. A one-day ticket to either park costs now between $119 and $179, according to the park's ticketing website. Those prices are up for $109 and $159, respectively, according to the Orlando Sentinel. A single-day ticket for entry into both parks will now cost between $174 and $234. So, okay.
Vash, can I ask, what is the difference between the $120 ticket and the $180 ticket? Is that some kind of special ticket, or is that just price variance?
That's the variable pricing model that these parks have adopted for like the last, 7 years or so. Disney does this as well, where they will price certain days more expensive than other ones, so that they can hopefully get you to buy a ticket that's less expensive for a weekday as opposed to a weekend.
Oh, okay. So let's say a weekday ticket in the freezing cold Florida temperatures of January would be around 119, and then July 4th, when it is, as Bob Iger would say, too dang hot, would be around 180.
Yes, that is typically how they do things, so that it's adjustable depending on the weather, travel trends, weekends, holidays, all that.
Okay, cool. Carry on, sir.
Oh, no. I just wanted to go ahead and point out, because I think that's appropriate for this discussion here, is that there's a lot that goes into this pricing. And, one of the reasons why we didn't necessarily cover this right off the bat is because, well, typically Disney sets the standard when it comes to pricing for theme parks. And everybody else follows, including Universal. So the bigger story here is that Disney increased their prices because, well, everybody is going to follow that. Universal adjusting their prices in response is kind of a typical thing, and they've been doing it for as long as I've been covering theme parks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that is a funny thing to say, as we give Disney such a hard time, and it's a well-deserved hard time recently. Disney is the first name in the theme park space. So if anyone asks whether or not we set Universal to a different standard than we do to Disney, the answer is yes, of course we do, because it's Disney and it's Universal. That being said, to Universal's credit, Universal has stepped up their game tremendously over the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
If you look at those Harry Potter lands, they are the gold standard in themed IP lands.
Right.
Obviously, I have not been to Super Nintendo World yet. I haven't been over to Japan. I have not been over to Hollywood to check those out. I hear they're fantastic, but I have been in both of the Harry Potter lands at Universal's Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. They're truly fantastic. And I would argue that Disney, of course, agrees that they're fantastic based on the fact that they did Galaxy's Edge, trying so hard to do almost the same thing. Not Disney's strong suit, by the way, trying to do what other people have already done.
Yeah, and that was their second attempt at what they call a Potter swatter, actually. They tried with Avatar as well. And while those lands are maybe impressive and have variable levels of, let's say, success, right? Compared to Harry Potter, I mean, there is no question those are the two consistently most packed areas of their respective theme parks in Orlando. And Mario is coming. And I can tell you, Mario has completely transformed the Hollywood side of their business around completely, and it will be a boon to Epic Universe as well. And they're going to be pricing for that too. They're going to be, from what I understand, they're going to try to do stuff where it's like, can we do after 6 pricing for various lands in Epic Universe? Can we do an all-day price that includes all the lands, but maybe let in people for free after a certain point to take advantage of our retail corridor that we'll have in our park? It's a very interesting model that they're going into. I also want to point out here, yes, while these prices are, on the let's say the higher end, you have to also compare to their annual passes. And when you do that, it's not even close to what Disney is offering. So you can see right here, the prices vary from $425 for a seasonal pass all the way to the premier pass for $900, right? When you compare that to Walt Disney World, I mean, the Incredipass goes up to
Oh,
$1,500.
yes.
So it is much
Wow.
higher. And some people will say, well, yeah, but you get 4 parks and you get 2 water parks and you get all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I mean, yes, you do, but I don't think any one of me. I mean, maybe Magic Kingdom, but Epcot, Disney Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom, any one of those parks can't equate to even half of what Islands of Adventure offers. To be
I think
fair,
you're right. And I would say for the locals, the Pixie and Pirate passes are probably the best value there. Although the Sorcerer Pass, pretty tempting. That Incredipass is the only one that is available to people that are not Florida residents.
and well, I think you can still get them if you want to, but I mean, it's a lot of money as you can see, and for the more value oriented options. You can see that they're not even anywhere close to what Universal's pricing themselves at.
How difficult is the reservation system for Universal?
Universal doesn't have a reservation system,
Interesting.
interestingly.
Interesting.
When you bring it up.
I'm giving Disney a hard time. Disney does have a premier theme park, and Universal, as we've often said, is doing the theme park, the Disney of the '90s experience is what Universal has right now. Specifically, if you're thinking about that MGM park, Islands of Adventure is there's no eye for sightlines over at Islands of Adventure. In fact, you could probably state that they did away with sightlines on purpose. When you're looking
Sure.
out on whatever they call their lagoon, I don't know if they have an amazing and magical name like the World Showcase Lagoon or the
Right.
Seven Seas Lagoon out there, and whatever you call that internal body of water there. When you're looking out, you see Harry Potter, you see Jurassic World, you see the Velocicoaster, of course, and you see all of that stuff. They're the opposite of sightlines, whatever you want to call it there.
I agree. And one of the reasons for that is because, well, they didn't have a lot of land to work with, which is why when people, they'll sometimes posit this theory that, oh, well, they should be taking everything that they were going to add to Epic Universe and just add them to their existing parks in Orlando. And it's like, you understand there is no space for any one of those attractions, much less like, the Harry Potter attraction, which is supposed to be one of the biggest show buildings and biggest indoor attractions ever constructed. Jonas, we've gone over that actually, about what they're going to feature inside of that attraction and why it will be so big. There's just no room. So, but they cram a lot in there, and that kind of speaks to this pricing model, right? It speaks to how much value that you're actually getting.
Yeah, I will add to that, of course, that Disney does feel very spacious. Disney World does feel very spacious.
Right.
If you're going for a walking experience, Walt Disney World is the better one. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, unless you got one of these really handy dandy passes, you're probably not going just to walk around the parks. Although there's a channel called 4K WDW that does excellent walk around tours
Absolutely.
of the various Disney parks. I think they might do Universal as well, although those are a little bit more stressful to navigate. Again, I'm going to say something positive about Disney by saying they're generally less stressful if you are just walking around. Now, if you want to get on a ride, you're going to have to get your head in an app and all that stuff. So maybe not. But
It's yeah, exactly right. The apps, the hoops that they drive you through. It's very interesting. But what's also very interesting is we have this new hotel being announced and coming online as early as January 2025, which is very interesting. As I believe Lou Wasserman's Ghost on one of the live streams,
yes,
I think broke the story that that date might. They might have gotten ahead of themselves when it came to that date. And yeah,
absolutely.
I can tell you right now, Epic Universe is attempting to target a January 2025 soft opening. So that is very, very interesting. But when it comes to the pricing of this new hotel, the resident expert on Universal, all things Universal, Theme Park Wizard, did a price comparison of some of their more value-oriented options, and you can see right here they charge from anywhere from like 163 to 205 for their value hotels, which we expect that this new Epic Universe area hotel will be, and you can see the comparison between that and Disney at the same time.
Which hotel is
287.
this right here?
That is All Star Pop Century. It looks like.
Either way, this is a Disney value resort. So up to 4 people in one room if everybody's sleeping on a bed.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
for
And
300 a night. Yeah, I gotta say, guys, if I am planning this with my large family, I am not staying on property for a Disney vacation. It's
right.
it okay, it's more magical. It's not that much more magical, and it'd be more magical if I could keep some of my money, guys. I do like the value resorts being called the Stella Nova and the Terra Luna. That is
That's cool, right?
that's perfect right there. Those are it's going to be easy to confuse those. I would think Luna and Terra, obviously that's sun and moon together. Also, is it the Stella Nova that has that really cool rainbow tiling?
I believe they both will. So I think
Oh,
that
okay. So it's the ones right next to. Oh, that's going to get
right.
confusing. I bet somebody shows up to the wrong hotel.
Well, I mean, look, the hotel experience looks pretty good. So hopefully, people are so entranced by their rooms and the value that they have that they won't be thinking about the names necessarily. But
you,
that's a
you
oh,
can
go ahead.
sit in your one hotel and look out on the other hotel that looks almost the same and has all of the amazing rainbow tiles. And you can imagine what your view would look like if you were at the other hotel.
Perfect. See how that works. It's magical. But also too, like think about this. It's not just the base price of these hotels, but we know that for the deluxe style hotels that that Universal has, sort of like the Portofino and hotels like that, they give you Express Pass,
Oh,
and
man.
that's something that Disney still hasn't offered when it regards to Genie Plus for their deluxe resort hotels that are often much more expensive. Go ahead.
Right, right. And if everyone understands the pricing model for Express Pass at Universal it is a premium price because you get a premium line skipping. Whereas at Disney, it is a slight increase. I don't want to say $20 extra or $30 extra a day, whatever it's going for right now, is a premium price on a single ticket. Uh, Only by comparison, but much more people buy Genie Plus or whatever it's called, Lightning Lane, the service.
Yeah.
And therefore, we're seeing these issues where everyone is buying it because everyone is making a bet against everyone else that they are going to be, they're going to have a crowded day. And therefore, they're going to have to buy it in order to have any kind of good experience at the park. Seeing a lot of situations where the standby line might be more empty and the Genie Plus line is I don't want to say blocks away because there's not blocks at the Disney park, but it's a very long Genie Plus Lightning Lane line. So at Universal, you tend not to have that because it's more expensive. So if you stay at one of those resorts with more people in your room, you get a better value per person on the Express Pass.
Exactly, which is the incentive to actually stay on property at a Universal resort and make that your home base for when you're staying in Orlando. It's a great model, and it's something that Disney's kind of gone away from when it comes to those extra perks and so forth that they can kind of throw in there, especially in the age of Genie Plus and these extra opportunities like that. And look, there are not that many deluxe hotels on property to not offer a comparable service like that, even if it's something that you maybe opt in or have to opt in by a certain date before it runs out, something like that to make it a compelling product and avoid the 50% buy-in that they have for Genie Plus right now, which is what Disney evangelizes as this amazing thing to investors. But for anybody who's visiting the park that day, when you have 50% of the people in that park, let's say a park that holds 60,000 people, and you have 30,000 people on this Genie Plus service all attempting to skip the line, well, that's
Right.
not a great product at the end of the day.
Yeah, Vash, would you say that for Universal, that the people who have Express Pass feel like they're getting a perk,
Oh yeah,
whereas
absolutely, yeah,
Whereas the
I've seen
people
it.
who don't buy Genie Plus are feeling like they're being punished for not buying Genie Plus.
Correct. Yeah, I would say that's a fair assessment. And here's the thing: it for a lower buy-in for a product like that, right? If you have less people on the system, it's better for everybody, including the people who are in the standby line. They can be run much more efficiently as opposed to you're trying to get one half of the line through at an expedited timetable, and the other half or many more have to wait in the standby.
There is one aspect of this pricing thing that we haven't talked about yet, and that is with Universal tickets and Disney
Mhm.
tickets, you do get a discount for buying additional days. Do you have any information on that?
Oh yes, yeah. Universal has plenty of offers like that around the season, and they price themselves much more. I don't have a visual representation on screen right now, but they price themselves similarly when it comes to buying additional days and getting more for your money. In fact, I just took advantage of a summer offer that Universal had, which was buy 2 days get three free. So it was like it was 5 days of Universal, and that was pretty killer. You'll note too that Disney had an offer as well. It was buy 4 days. I think it was like $100 per day per park. No blackouts and no reservations required. So that was a
Yeah,
compelling thing as well.
I'll point out the last time that my family and I, with 6 people, went to Universal Studios, it was
Hmm.
$250 per person for 5 days total. So we were $50 a day, and that was any of the 3 parks. I can't imagine we're going to be getting that same deal when Epic Universe opens up.
Well, I do foresee a scenario in which Epic Universe might do kind of a bundling sort of thing that Disney did. You'll note that I talked about a Disney offer that they had during the summer, in which 4 days, 4 parks, whatever. I was told when I was purchasing that you had to visit all 4 parks. You couldn't like double up on one park. That's a strategy that Universal can implement themselves in order to prevent that cannibalization factor that so many people are worried about when it comes to the opening of Epic Universe, as it relates to the other parks.
That sounds amazing.
Previously.
Honestly, that's like a YouTube challenge right there. Maybe we ought to do that. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning here into That Park Place for our analysis of Universal. Yes, we covered it. Yes, we were asked to cover it. We did intend on getting around to it lately, but there's been a lot going on with Disney lately, and we've barely had the bandwidth to cover it all. You may notice that we had a 3-hour live stream on Tuesday just covering the earnings call, and I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I cut it off with 4 stories left still to cover. So maybe we'll be repurposing some of those ideas for videos here on the channel. Of course, let us know if there is anything that you would like us to cover here. And if you like this video, please consider liking this video or sharing it out if you know someone who is interested in this kind of a discussion. Of course, if you are interested in all the news that should be fun, please subscribe to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.